Hey guys, good afternoon and welcome to Pretty Eyes. My name is Lavana. If this is your first time tuning into this show, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can get future notifications on things that are coming forth. First of all, I would like to give honor to God, give him the glory and the honor, because if it was not for him, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this show. And if there's anybody that knows someone that's in a domestic violence situation, whether that be man or woman, please turn this page over to them. If this is something that is not good for you or you're not interested in, share it with someone that you know that could be helpful towards them. Last week, just in case you guys didn't tune in, I had a very special guest that was on the show, and she was basically talking about her survival, after her domestic violence situation, how she got out of it, and what she's doing today. Going forward next week, I will also have another guest that will be speaking about their domestic violence situation and how they got out of it and what they're also doing today. Today, guys, I'm going to be talking about emotional abuse signs and symptoms. This is just going to be like just a little piece of information that may help someone that's in an abusive situation, whether that be man or woman. Again, subscribe. And if you guys don't want to tune in on the show, you can also find me at Instagram at Vondelion, also at Facebook at Domestic Violence Survivors Life After, and also on YouTube on this show called Pretty Eyes, the show. So with that being said, let me get started. Today, like I said, I want to talk about emotional abuse signs and symptoms. And those symptoms basically can be played out in a number of different ways. That could be through, people you know, people you don't even know, just random people. The first thing that, or a lot of signs that are dealing with emotional abuse, is also being delayed or having inappropriate emotional development, where a person feels like they're already grown, and we know that they're grown by the age of their number, but they may have emotional things that are dealing with inside because they've already been into an abusive relationship. They've also didn't know how to get out of it, didn't know how to handle things once they got out of the abusive relationship, and now they're at the point where they're stuck. They're basically stuck. They don't know how to move forward, and sometimes that stunts the growth of a person, of a human being. That could be man or woman, and sometimes kids go through this as well. So this is not just for adults. Kids are also being abused, especially at this hectic time that we're having during this pandemic. And there's a lot of people that are stuck in the house, furloughed from their jobs, people that can't get out, or people that just don't have money to escape the abuser. And if you've already got out of that abusive situation, kudos to you. That is an awesome deal. So if you have not, at the end of the show today, I will be leaving a 1-800 number for domestic violence survivors. Also a hotline for people that wants to talk to someone that's on a hotline, someone that they don't know, someone that cannot see them. Sometimes people talk a lot better when they're speaking to a person that's biased with the situation. And a lot of people don't want them to know their business, as I stated before. Also, another thing is they will have lack of confidence and lack of self-esteem. So they could have been a very hyper person, a very person that can just get everything done, to do all kind of person, and all of a sudden they lose their drive, where that's lowering their self-esteem. And self-esteem is very important. It plays a big role in our life. So if you're not confident in yourself or having self-esteem issues, those are the things that can bring you down. And those are also the things that can tear you away from life, and you're missing out on life. So we don't want you to miss out on life. We definitely want you to show those pretty eyes, and always keep yourself encouraged. As I stated before, read your word. That's the number one thing that is going to help you sustain yourself and get you back to your normal self. I'm also a survivor, as I stated before, over 20 years ago. And so I don't like to use the word victim, because I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor. And once you've gotten through something that was very horrendous for you, it just builds strength, it builds character, it makes you understand that you can accomplish anything. So I don't want people to feel low or down or depressed or, like inadequate of anything that they're trying to do, whether that be working, trying to figure out a new career for themselves, going to school, whatever it is that you're doing. We all have great minds, and the great minds are to use them in the correct way, to strive to do better for yourself. Another thing that is an emotional abuse symptom is social withdrawalness, a loss of interest, a loss of enthusiasm. So if you see people that you've known have been always enthusiastic about just getting jobs done, getting it done, just a go-getter kind of person, and all of a sudden they lose their drive to want to do better, or to be involved, those are signs that they're being, emotionally abused. So, reach out, lend a helping hand, be kind to one another, because you never know what the next person could be going through. And you might just be that person that can change that person's day, where they can feel a little confident, feel more secure with themselves, where they'll want to have that drive back, to do the things that they've been wanting to do. Another thing is a lot of people will go into a state of depression and avoid certain situations, whether that be work, whether that be school, whether that's just normal activities. So if you see a person that's always been just a well-rounded type of an individual, and they're going into a shutdown or having a meltdown moment, talk to them, prod them, give them the probing questions, so that way you can be the person that can help them. Maybe you can give them this information that may help them want to be able to talk to someone, because everybody needs help. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is the best at anything that we do. We all strive to do better. So it's very important to reach a lending hand, as I stated earlier, and make sure that you are talking to someone that that they trust you. Don't just go up asking people their business, because when the time is right. Be led. Make sure you're led by the Spirit, because some people can get offended. Some people may feel like, hey, you're all in my business. You don't know me. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. That's the normal things that people will say, that they're okay. And a lot of times when people say they're okay, they're definitely not okay. Also, last but not least, an emotional person that is being in an emotional abused relationship a lot of times seeks a lot of affection. And they're seeking a lot of affection because they're not getting it. They may not be getting it from a loved one, family, friends, whatever it is. So it kind of leaves them to a place where they are actually trying to seek attention any type of way they can, whether that's good attention, bad attention, but you don't want to sell yourself short. The main thing here is you want to stay encouraged. You want to keep your head lifted. Because sky is the limit. There's nothing that nobody can't do. Whatever you put your mind to do, you can do it. And that's leaving the abuser, whether that's man or woman, getting out of emotional situation, whether it's physical or just emotional, or even verbal. We went over these things a few weeks ago, and I talked about different signs of different type of abuse. So it's not just violence all the time. Sometimes it can be very emotional for people. And some people's minds are not designed to hold a lot. We really can, but some people may feel like they're cracking or breaking up. But, read that word. That's what gives you strength. I'm gonna always say that, because that is the number one thing that helped me leave my abuser. And whether it's physical, verbal, emotional, different things that people go through, only way that you can survive any of those things is by talking to someone, having a great support system, and definitely talking to Jesus, because he's the one. He's the way maker. So with that being said, next week, like I said, that I'm going to have a special guest that's going to be on the show. She's going to also be speaking about her domestic violence surviving, and what led her to leave her abuser, what the different signs and different things that she saw in this person that she totally ignored and went forth. And a lot of people do that. We all do that. Sometimes your right mind is telling you, don't do this. This is not the right thing to do. and you know better, but then we go against those feelings, and sometimes things happen. Sometimes things happen that can change you forever, and sometimes people don't restore. So it's very important to watch the signs, be very cautious of people that are out to hurt people, because hurt people, you know, and that's just the bottom line to that. So with that being said, I'm going to leave this number for anyone that may want to call out to the domestic violence hotline. This is a free, toll-free number, just in case you don't want to talk to me. And I hope that this really encourages you. I hope this lifts your spirits up. It's a beautiful day today, and we want to keep showing those pretty eyes. So make sure you're showing your eyes in a beautiful light. You know, not frowning, not being depressed. And if you are depressed, it's someone that you need to talk to. All right, so this number is going to be 1-800-799-7233. Again, the number is 1-800-799-7233. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the show today. It was rather short, a little bit longer than usual. But next week, be prepared to tune in. I will have a special guest, and we're going to get some men on this show. So I just want to say I love you guys. Stay encouraged, be blessed, and make sure, don't forget to show those pretty eyes. Have a great day, guys. Love you. See you next week.